In this video, I will talk to Or Shamosh from Seller Appeal, the Amazon policy expert, and he will share with us a couple of situations where the Amazon account might be suspended, and he will also explain which suspensions you could appeal yourself, and you don't really need to take anybody's service. Hello, Or.
Hey, how are you today?
Yeah, I'm good. And could you shortly introduce yourself? What's your background and how did you start to help Amazon sellers and how do you help them?
Of course. So my name is Or. I operate this business for a few years now. We provide Amazon Appeal services for all types of suspensions. Actually, how I got into this is a pretty funny story. I started selling a few years ago, and like every normal person, I read Amazon's policies and terms of service. They're long, and from there I understood somehow how to sell on Amazon and how to act, how the policy and how the platform works. And I brought in my first product, not a private label. I did some kind of mix-up between arbitrage and dropshipping, and I got suspended because I did a lot of mistakes. I didn't read it anywhere, just went by the policy, by the guidelines. And for who of you who know this, Amazon was first built by the buy box, meaning not for third-party sales and not for private label products, but for buy box sharing, arbitrage, dropshipping. This was their main idea when they started to build a platform. And this is what I did, and I got suspended. So I went to the policy again and read what I need to do. And I tried, and it didn't work. I tried again and again and again, and finally it worked out. And so it goes on, it continued until the point which I got about 60 listings suspensions, and about 10 times my account was suspended. We had over 200 products, and it was crazy. And we chased it all the time until we figured out how this system works, how the algorithm works, and how we need to appeal correctly. And then we started to help friends whose accounts got suspended. And so it went on until we started to give this as a paid service. And since then, we are always bringing new products. We are bringing about 10 units to new listings and getting them suspended on purpose to always keep track of the algorithm, to understand the triggers to get you suspension and the triggers to get you reinstated. And that's pretty fun, actually, to get your own listing suspended. And that's how we keep track of that's how we started, and that's how we continue to learn on a daily basis.
Wow, so you're basically Amazon policy robot hackers, so it's cool.
Something like that. This is the main thing which we try to do, to understand the algorithm, to know how to discuss with it, to get ahead of this, and by entering some important keywords in the appeal, to get it routed more correctly, faster, to get the issue solved as soon as possible.
All right, so now in this video you will give an overview of different types of suspensions, and you will give tips to audience on which suspensions they could just do it yourself think to appeal, right, for Amazon.
So not all appeals requires professional work. Of course, if you see your time and money value is more important, it is wiser to hire someone. But if you are a new seller and it is more important to learn, indeed, some suspensions you can deal with alone, and it is highly suggested in certain cases, indeed. I will show from our website, Seller Appeal. You can enter it as well, www.sellerappeal.com. And here are the main suspension reasons that people get suspended to. We divide it into main three categories. Over here you can see four, but those, the account health and product compliance, are more or less the same: regulation issues and legal issues. And it goes by three main categories: legal issues, such as design, patents, trademarks, copyrights, and all intellectual property issues. The second will be regulation issues. If you are suspended by the FDA, the DEA, EPA, and so it goes, FTC, USDA, and many more. And the last one would be those two: policy, Amazon, their guidelines, their own made-up rules that are not subject to any laws or regulations, and we still need to follow them, but there are no legal matters behind them. So I will make a quick cover of the first two. And I will start by saying that most of the time, those ones cannot be dealt with alone. Why? The first one will be the legal department, as you can see over here in the website, in the left side. Design patents and utility patents are strictly law issues. They are almost not relevant to Amazon, and sometimes they outsource it or hire professional legal advisors to deal with those revisions of the appeals. I mean, when we send the appeal, a representative from Amazon reads this. It's not a robot, it's not a system, it's an Amazon employee. Our goal would be to route it to the correct department and to the correct employee. And this is done by the keywords that I previously mentioned. And so overall, all those issues, the patents, the trademark, and the copyright, are legal issues that requires legal involvement, and in some cases, legal letters and legal opinions. Most of the times won't be able to deal with them alone. The second one will be regulation issues. The FTC, mainly, Federal Trade Commission, recently made some big crackdowns on Amazon sellers. They don't like it when third-party private label sellers made all kinds of statements and terms that aren't true. For example, lifetime warranty. You can't provide a lifetime warranty if you don't have a big business behind you. So if the customer will return to you in 10 years, can you give this warranty? We guess not. So it's a little bit tricky. If you write down that your product is waterproof, for example, is your product actually waterproof? By what rating? By what standard? If you write down, there was a recent crackdown, the pesticide issue that many heard of, and everybody said it is an error, it's a mistake. How can this happen? And so it isn't actually an error. The EPA, the regulation that is in charge of the Environmental Protection Agency, said that two things are prohibited: pesticide products for non-US sellers and pesticidal claims. What does it mean? If I'm selling this phone case, for example, and I'm saying that it is antibacterial, so this is a pesticide claim. I'm saying that my product, that my phone case is used to prevent bacteria, and that's a prohibited claim because you don't have the relevant approval for it. You don't have the document that proves that it is true. If you have it, so all good, but you probably don't because it doesn't exist. And so this is the crackdown that they made. And so it goes with all other regulations, as can be seen here, the FDA, the DEA, EPA, for many relevant and different marketing statement claims. And those issues as well usually requires regulation involvement. We got a regulation expert in our company as well as our legal department, and we need to quote them, to give the appropriate quotes, to correctly classify your product, and to deal with it if it is possible, to remove the claims and to continue to the appeal and prove that by the relevant regulator there aren't any further infringements. Now, if someone is aware of the regulation, of how it works, on how to correctly search up is classification, go ahead. But from our experience, it is a very complicated area, and we are here for it. Now, the third one would be the policy issues. Now, this is the more interesting part for you, because here we will provide actual tips on how to correctly address this and how to sometimes avoid it and how to deal with it by yourself if you wish to. So the policy issues are divided into about two subjects. The first is the product compliance, which affects your listing and not your account usually. And the second, account health, usually affects your account and suspends your account. And so we divide the policy issues into those two. Now, I will take it back a step. Legal issues, legal department, legal appeals are usually a legal letter and in addition a short appeal. The regulation issues are usually a very, very thorough appeal with relevant quotes from the relevant regulator, and that's called appeal. That's an appeal. Now, many of you may know the term a plan of action. Plan of action is relevant for policy issues, and this is where in some cases it can be wise to deal with them alone, and it is possible. For example, I will give used items sold as new. It is one of the most common suspensions in Amazon, and everybody knows, also Amazon knows, that your products aren't really used. All they want is the authentication that you know what you're doing and that you are obligated to them, to Amazon and to its customers, and that you will continue to do so. So a plan of action is built into three parts. The first one will be recognition of the root cause. That's the term that Amazon uses. Identification, recognition of the root cause of the issues. This can be order IDs of customers who send negative feedbacks and mention that the package looks used, that the seal of the product was broken, that the product looks dirty, it is with fingertips, and it looks as it is used. And those comments from the customers, if it is in your message center, reviews, feedbacks, return comments, anywhere, this is what triggers Amazon's algorithm and suspends you for used items sold as new. So the first part would be to recognize all those order IDs and to mention what the root cause of it was. For example, again, let's take back my case that I am not actually selling because I got suspended for it about 20 times now, actually. So let's take my case. Let's pick the big screen. I'm selling this case, and a customer mentioned that it has my fingertips on it, and it looks used. So, and I got about 50 comments with that, and I'm suspended. What I will say is that the root cause is because the employees, for example, it's something that we need to use creativity to correctly match it. What we will say is that the employees weren't wearing gloves when they packed it into the packaging, and so they got their fingertips on it, which made it look used. And simple as that. That's the root cause. We recognize it, we found it, and all good. Another example is if we don't have any packaging, I would say the lack of packaging or the improper packaging, and so it goes. We investigate the account, find the problems, find the common cause of them, and make up a solution, find out a solution for them. A solution, a root cause, a common cause. That will be the first step. The second one would be how we resolved all the issues. Meaning, we refunded all customers. We made sure to make an employee, to hire an employee whose sole purpose would be researching the account on a daily basis and finding complaints and reacting to them. Another resolve would be that we are communicating with all buyers and sending them emails to ask them if any issues arrived. That we are making factory audits to make sure, and so it goes, to be specific and relevant to the root cause that you found. And the first step would be how we will prevent it. So if we found out that there are 50 clients who complained that there are fingertips on my case, so I would say that the preventive actions would be that we made all employees wear extra gloves, that we improved our packaging, that the shipment is now done better, and so it goes. So finding the root cause, resolving it, the current issue, and preventing it. And that's how a plan of action is built. And it can be done in any product, in any situation, and need to be very creative in some cases, and can resolve it by yourself if the situation is not too difficult. There are cases when a massive plan of action is needed. For example, if I'm selling the phone and everybody's saying that the screen arrived broken, so saying that packaging or shipment caused it won't be very sufficient, because that's a very big problem. We will need to remove your inventory to verify if the current inventory in Amazon's warehouses are with broken glasses as well. We will need to prove that we've done sufficient inspections. We will need to make another inspections. And so it goes. We can create the situation and case into anything possible, all depending on the root cause that we found and on the customer comments and on the issue. And that's basically it, how plan of actions are built and how we can write them down and solve easier issues by ourselves.
All right. Yeah, a lot of useful tips. I think some people are really searching for this kind of detailed information, what to put in a plan of action. And your examples really give us a great idea how you can, what details you can share with Amazon. All right. So if someone needs more professional help, how can people reach out to you, and what's the process? How do you work with Amazon sellers?
Well, first you can contact us through our website. As you saw, I will share it again, www.sellerappeal.com. If you can see it, you can reach out to me by Facebook, directly to my personal Facebook. I am available there all the time. One moment. Search up for me, Or Shamosh. You can see the name here and you will find me. And we are available. We also have WhatsApp, which we can provide later on if easier, and you got everything over here. WhatsApp, Facebook, email, we are available. The process can be also seen in the website, which I will not show. Yes, I will show. In the first step, we research your situation. Before any giving a quotation, before payment, before anything, we need to see it's something we can deal with, or maybe it's something we tell you to deal with it by yourself if you want, because it's easier. We study your case, we see what the infringement is, we evaluate the success rates, and give you a quote. Prices changes based on every appeal. And the second step would be us researching on your case. If it's a legal issue, we will, with the legal department, we will research on it. For example, on the patent versus your product, we will compare them. If it's a regulation issue, we will study the relevant regulator and the classification of your product and see how we can attack Amazon on it. And if it's a policy issue, we will usually access your account, require partial access, research your account, find all the issues, and continue to the plan of action accordingly. And then we send it to you with instructions on how to send it to Amazon, while hopefully, and as usual, you will be reinstated in a matter of days.
Thank you very much, Or, and good luck in your business. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you would like to get notifications of videos by OrangeClick where we interview different Amazon seller service providers as well as Amazon software creators and Amazon seller event organizers, make sure that you subscribe below to the OrangeClick YouTube channel.